George Washington, the first president of the United States of America. Washington was also much more than that. He is one of the reasons we have independence and are a united and free country. In the late 1760s, Washington experienced the effects of rising taxes imposed on American colonists by the British and believed it was best if the colonists declared independence from England. The Virginian planter was opposed to the Stamp Act of 1765 but did not have any role in that colonial protest. He soon became an important role when the Townshend Acts of 1767 became widespread. Washington served as a delegate to the First Continental Congress in 1774 in Philadelphia. On June 1775, George Washington was nominated General Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, and Congress unanimously agreed. Washington was an experienced American officer after his services in the French and Indian War. When he accepted his command, he refused any payment beyond his expenses. Washington was a better general than a military strategist. His strength was his ability to keep the struggling colonial army together. Troops had very little training and food. However, Washington gave them direction and motivation to keep them going, although they sometimes went without shoes in the winter. Washington selected and guided the generals throughout the Revolutionary War. He got capable officers like Daniel Morgan, Nathanael Greene, Henry Knox, and Alexander Hamilton. The American officers often lost pitched battles and weren't as strong as their opponents, but their greatest successes were from trapping the British far from their base with more troops than their opponents. One of Washington's greatest victories were at Valley Forge of 1776 on Christmas night. He and his troops crossed the Delaware River. They then arrived at Trenton, New Jersey, and marched to Princeton. The troops then surprised British forces there who were recovering from holiday celebrations and hangovers. Washington had great leadership skills throughout the war. Washington lost many of his battles, but he never gave up. He continued to fight the British until the end of the war. He worked closely with all of his soldiers and alliances. In the end, Washington put an end to the American Revolution with the Battle of Yorktown in October 1781. Washington planned to fight in New York, but quickly changed plans to strike at the British Army. With Cornwallis in Yorktown, Virginia, Washington plans to conduct a siege with his troops and alliances with the French. British were low on supplies, and soldiers were wounded or sick, so Cornwallis decided to surrender his troops. The victory marked the end of the Revolutionary War, though it was 2 years after this event that a peace treaty was completed. Washington was a hero.